I'm Lily McCullough, and welcome to Teen Talk. I'm here today with Reese Peterson.
Hello.
Reese, would you like to share your story?
Sure. So a couple years ago, I had a lot of things going on, and I learned the importance that other people's support can offer into your life, and I really just want to talk about that today, and that's why I'm here with Lily.
So, how has being around supportive people influenced your life?
Well, it really can do a lot more than you would really think at first. If you had told me at the very start of when I had all those things I was dealing with, that I would rely so much on other people, I would have been kind of surprised because I was definitely more of like a stick to yourself type of guy. But over time, really you learn to adapt and interact with other people a lot more, and you can rely on them, and you just get a lot closer. And having that closeness with other people can really bring you out of a dark place.
Mm-hmm. What would you think would have happened if you didn't have the support?
Well, I could have gone in a worse place, to be honest. There's no way to know for sure, and I don't like to speak in scary hypotheticals, but there's worrying things that could have happened, and there's no way to know, but we always have to keep that sort of thing in mind when we're talking about this sort of thing. It's very much a topic that needs to be treated with a lot of delicacy and maturity, and when we realize that, we can incorporate that idea into our interactions with other people and realize they may have a lot more serious things than we're used to talking about in life. So being able to have that stability for them and offer that is really a good thing, and it can help them a lot.
When I was in a pretty bad place, I thought that I could just handle it all on my own. Did you ever think about that too?
I did. I thought that it was a solo thing, like my problem, my solution. Definitely not, not at all. Really, at the end of the day, what got me out of that was my interactions with other people and how they helped me. I'd actually say that's more important than anything else, just making sure you're staying active and social, having that human connection, because personally, I would get in my own head and it would just start a downward spiral. So being able to keep talking to people is going to prevent that.
What made you realize that it was okay to talk with other people and rely on those other people?
Well, it's kind of funny. It was a couple years ago now. It was at mock trial. We were staying at a hotel for a trip we were at, and I started talking with some friends just in the hallway, and it just started regular conversation. And then one of my friends had some more serious things going on, and they looked to me for support, and I was able to offer that. And then I realized if I can offer that for other people, then they can support me as well. And we'd go on for years, not just that friend, but any friend who I'm willing to support or is willing to support me. We can just have an open communication, open dialogue, and we help each other.
What would you say to someone who is scared to ask for help or doesn't know what to say to someone who is asking for help?
Well, I would definitely say that first step, asking for the help or just realizing you need help, that is the hardest part. That is the hurdle that you have to get over. And once you do that, life gets extremely, help me cut this out. I'm trying to think of my word.
The right word?
Yeah. Life gets easier by a magnitude I can't even begin to describe. Once you have that ability to be open with other people, you really just have a complete lifestyle change, and it can result in great things happening.
Something that I have noticed since starting this podcast is that people are you're more aware of people talking about mental health when you start talking about mental health, because before I started talking to people about what was going on with me, I never heard anyone talking about it. But then when you start talking, other people start talking, and then everyone, well, not everyone, but most people start talking about it. So I think that if you're not hearing anything, then it's scary, but like take the first step, and then everyone will start opening up, and then it'll be just better, less of a stigma, just getting all of that out there.
I agree completely. It's having that standard, that precedent set that we're friends, we're gonna support each other. Having that idea in everyone's mind will really help your life in so many different ways, as well as your friendship with that person. Because knowing that when the going gets tough, you can rely on that person, that's really gonna be a benefit to anybody.
What's something besides talking to your friends that helps you mentally?
I take a lot of time to think to myself. I go on a lot of walks. A lot of people actually see me on walks sometimes. Maybe not as much anymore because I don't have as much time. But when it was bad a couple years ago, I'd constantly be walking. Instead of doing the longest DBQs, I'd be walking around town. You know, it was just nice having that time to myself to think about what really mattered, what inputs am I really getting in life, and being able to properly register that and think through it is very helpful. So just having that time to yourself to think while also having that connection with other people is greatly beneficial.
And what does really matter to you? Like taking everything out of your life and only putting things in that really matter, what would be in your life?
I would probably just say making a good difference in the world and on other people. I mean, in my future career and all that, that's my main plan. I just want to improve life for people in the grand scheme of things, and I try to carry out that belief in my day-to-day life, you know, with all my clubs or classes or other activities, will it be at work or what have you. It's just something I try to do. Just having that goal of making a good difference is another thing. It's sort of like an anchor.
And what do you want to do after you graduate high school?
Well, I'd like to, excuse me,
You're
Jesus.
okay.
I'd like to double major in international affairs and economics, and I'm hoping to work in diplomacy in like the State Department. I've always wanted to work in the government because there's such great capacity for amazing things to be done and so many people to be helped, and the broken to be uplifted and the lives to be rebuilt. And there's a lot of times where that chance is there, that opportunity is present, but it's not taken. The people aren't willing to do that and help each other. And I want to make that difference, and I want to make us all help each other and all be community and cooperative.
If you could change anything in the world today, what would you change?
I would like for us to listen to each other and have greater compassion to each other. I really do think that the guy in rural Kentucky is similar to the girl in New York City. You know, at the end of the day, they want to live good lives, and that might mean different things to them. But if you talk to people instead of hearing something about them or assuming, and you really get down to who they are as a person and why they think the way they do, you will understand them a lot better, and you'll understand yourself a lot better. So having that level of listening and compassion and kindness to other people is always something I wish we had more of in the world.
And do you plan to go far away for college, stay near? What's your plan for that?
Well, I'd like to stay in state for sure. Most of the ones, there's one in DC I'm applying to, but the other ones are all in state. Most are a couple hours away though, so I guess sort of far.
Does that make you nervous at all, leaving, talking to new people?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, if it were me a few years ago and I had that opportunity and I was like, oh, I'd be nervous. But nowadays, I look at every new day as a new opportunity and new people to meet, new things to do. So I'm really not nervous. I know that I'm gonna have a lot of chances to do the right thing, and I know I'm gonna make mistakes. I've always made mistakes because everyone does. I know that this is just an opportunity for me, and I'm going to try and take the best advantage of it as I can and help as many as I can.
If you could talk to your younger self, what would you say?
I'd probably tell him, get out of your own head. I don't want to speak in third person.
It's okay.
I was a big, I was antisocial, I'd say. I didn't talk to a whole lot of people then. And I just didn't trust a lot of people, which is always a problem I had throughout a lot of my youth. But I really do think that putting trust in other people is what brought me out of that part of my life and brought me into a better part of my life. So I'd probably just say, get out of your own head.
Easier said than done, right?
Absolutely.
If you could change something about the school, like add something to it to promote something, what would you add or change?
I'd probably try and add more community building things. I mean, if you know me, you know I really like being part of a team and everyone cooperating, and I love bringing spirits up and just trying getting people happy and excited and just grateful that they're there and have that opportunity. That's something I always strive to do, but I feel like we have the flex space, which is nice. We have plenty of clubs, but we don't have a whole lot of casual talking to someone you've never met before sort of things, you know? Like, I do think the flex space is nice, but you know, that's primarily for seniors. If we had other opportunities for people to connect and meet each other and just form friendships, I think that'd be a very positive benefit for everybody.
I've noticed this year, as all of us are seniors, that we're all talking to each other more. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but I think in the past we've had like our separate like cliques, but now I think we're all just merging into one big senior class. And I think that is really nice, and I wish it would have happened sooner, because I'm talking to people that I've never really talked to before, and they're really fun, and I don't know why I've never talked to them before. Have you noticed that too?
I definitely have. I mean, there's so many different classes I have this year with people I never really, like you said, just never really talked to. But it's just interesting. We have so much in common, and we have so many things we want to do in the world, and we might have some big differences too, but that's really beautiful in a way, because understanding who somebody is, I think, is the greatest form of connection you can have. So being able to have that opportunity is really amazing, and I'm very happy that we've all been seizing that. I'm very happy about it.
I was thinking about why we have never really talked to each other. Like, I'll sit in on like the younger classes whenever I have a free period, like visit a teacher and sit on the younger classes, and they're so divided. Like, they won't talk to each other, they stick with their friends. And we were like that, I think, for a majority of high school, and I don't know why. I think there was just like, people thought that one group was better than the other, and they were scared to talk to each other. And now that we're all seniors, it's just like, we don't care, we're all gonna be gone in a year, let's talk to each other and have a good year. And I wish that would have happened sooner. And I hope that as people are coming into high school, that they will talk to each other more. Because if we had this year every single year, I think our class would have done like more great things than we already have.
I agree with that. I think something I would have to recommend for any incoming high schoolers or even current high schoolers is to give people a second chance. You know, if I had somebody in 5th grade who was mean to me one time and I held that grudge against them until I graduated, that'd be pretty immature of me, even though I'm not the one who did the original bad thing. You know, we have to give people more opportunities because people change. I mean, I was a pretty annoying middle schooler, and I think
we all were.
I think we all were, exactly. So what's the point in holding that perception of somebody until we're in the grave in 60 years from now, you know? We just got to give more people more opportunities to prove that they're more than what we've assigned them in our minds, I think.
So I met you, well, I've known you for a while, but I we really got close through marching band. And one of my favorite things about you is that every time another band would perform, you would always cheer and get the whole band hyped up. What were you thinking when you started doing that?
Well, you know, we're all band kids. We're all musicians. You know, between Montoursville and say Loyalsock, there's a pretty fierce rivalry, and you know, both schools have joked about things, but at the end of the day, we're all there to have fun, and we've all put a lot of hard work into our shows. So I want people to feel appreciated for what they're doing. I think we all like that feeling. So if I can whip people up into a frenzy and get them screaming and cheering, that's always a thing I appreciate. I try to do that in a lot of different group settings, just to get people happy they have that shot to do it, as well as everyone else is there too. So cheer for them. They've worked as hard as you have.
Right.
So
have you noticed when you give the people the recognition they deserve and the hype and the cheer that they do better?
I do think they definitely do. We'll keep talking with marching band as an example. When we were in band camp this year, you know, there was a lot of new kids I didn't really know, but when we started going, hey, you're doing a great job, you keep that up, keep doing, maybe we can improve on this, but that was really good, or, you know, there's so much to say. When you really get people that recognition, like you're saying, it can motivate them. I want to do better because I already did so well and I can take it a few steps above. I know I can. So when you foster that mentality in a group, then the level of quality will skyrocket, and it is greatly beneficial to everybody.
I've noticed in a few clubs and activities that I've been in that some people think that only pointing out what you're doing wrong will help. And I don't think that does it. I think if you're doing something wrong, you should say hey, this isn't right, try doing this. But also pointing out something good that they're doing, because that'll keep their hope up that they're still doing it right. Because if you just keep pushing them down, I don't think anything's gonna come out of that.
I agree. I think, you know, it is important to point out flaws, because we can't ignore that sort of thing. But that can be overbearing if you are hearing, oh, you suck at this, you're not doing too hot. If you keep hearing that, you're gonna get demotivated, and you're probably gonna quit the activity, regardless of what it is, unless it's something huge. You know, so we really got to keep people's spirits up if we want everyone to be involved in our community. And I don't think we should throw people away just because they keep making a mistake and they just haven't quite learned yet. Especially with the next generations, you know, they have a lot to do. It's a challenging world we live in, but there's so much opportunity that they have, and I have a lot of faith in them, and I know they can do well, but we just can't crush them. No one's spirits should get crushed.
Right. I think something that I like to do is, if you're giving someone something that they can improve on, tell them something that they're also doing well on. So that way it's just cancels each other out, so that they're like, okay, I can do this better, but I'm still doing this really good, so let me try and keep going. And I think more people should implement that into how they are either teaching or coaching, and that would hopefully bring spirits up, because I think right now everything's just so sad and dark, and especially as it's getting into winter, everything's just cold and sad. But if you keep, what I've been doing is, when something has been going bad, if I'm not having a good week, not doing well in this class, I think okay, what has been going well? Okay, these things are going well. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna make it to the end of the week, and then we have Thanksgiving break. It's gonna be okay. And that was a really hard thing for me to start doing, because I've only ever thought of the bad. This is going wrong, nothing's gonna go well, I'm not gonna get in here. And I think just constantly thinking of positive things that are happening has put me in a better mindset. And I think more people should start doing that as well. What do you think?
I would agree. I think that kind of goes back to what we were mentioning earlier with having a long-term goal in mind. I don't know why I did that weird pose.
It's okay.
But, here, I have a personal example. famously, I mean, a lot of people have heard about this endeavor. I lost volleyball a while ago, and I said to my class, "Hey, I'm gonna be the best volleyball player ever," or whatever. And I don't really think that. You know, I do find it funny to joke about it, but it did make me grow this goal of I wanna get more in shape. I wanna get stronger, and then having that in mind in everything I do, like maybe I had a bad day at work, but I did good in this other thing, or whatever, you know. It feels good, like you said, like it keeps your spirits up, and it's definitely something that I think will help anybody. So having a goal in mind, absolutely, I completely agree.
How would you talk to someone who is only thinking of the negative? How would you get them out of that negative and into the positive?
I think there's two sides to every story, really. In that sort of situation, I don't think flooding their mind, or their ears rather, with sort of a fake positivity, I don't think that's going to help. I think understanding why they're feeling so gloomy and going to the root of the problem and addressing that the best that we can help them, that's the real way to go about it, I think. I mean, it helps to be positive, but if somebody's having a bad day and they say, "Oh, I tripped on the sidewalk, I failed my test, I this and that," you know, I'm not gonna cheer them on. "Hey, it's sunny out today."
Right.
But like, if I go to the root of the problem, I say, "Well, what happened with that test? Maybe we can get the ball rolling on getting you some help or something." That's gonna help them long term, regardless of. I know it sucks to study, but like it will help them, because the relief you have from getting a good grade on something, as opposed to the crushingness of like a failing one, it's night and day, really.
Right.
So if you can attack the root of the problem and address that, I'd say that's the best way to go about it, and that's something different for everybody.
I'm really glad you said that, because I was thinking about this, that some people just either just need someone to listen to or need someone to help them fix it. Because I know that if I'm having a bad day, I don't want someone to come up to me and be like, "Well, it's sunny out, it's not raining, like, you're alive, it's fine." Like, that's not gonna help. We're like, yeah, it is, but like, I failed my test, what am I gonna do about it? Sometimes sitting there and like helping them get to the root of the problem is the best help you can get. And for people that haven't dealt with any mental health or don't know how to talk to someone, I think that that's the most kind of help, to just sit and listen and then help fix. And sometimes you can't fix it. Sometimes there really is no solution to the problem, but just being there to offer advice is the best kind of thing than just being like, stay positive, absolutely, but only saying things that don't help. Like, "Well, it's not raining, like, you're fine." Like, that's not gonna help anyone get out of that state.
I agree. I'd say something I always do personally, when I have like a friend or family member, whoever, who isn't doing so well, I have like a math formula in my head. When we're talking, I have for myself 3/4 listening and 1/4 giving advice and responding. Because really, sometimes I get pretty upset or frustrated with something, and when I just start blurting it and saying it out loud, I really think, well, you know, it's not that big of a deal, or like, "Oh, I can do this," or "I can fix it." Having somebody listen to you is really another thing that helps as well. And if I'm able to offer some verbal advice or some reassurance, I absolutely will. But I'm not gonna, like we were saying, I'm not gonna be falsely positive. I'm not gonna offer advice that doesn't help. I'm gonna just address the problem, and it can help.
Sometimes people just need to get it out and talk about it, and then they're fine. I think I've definitely done that before. My best friend can attest that I've spewed my words at her, and then afterwards be like, it's fine, actually, I'm fine. I don't know why I said that. And she'll just go, "Okay."
Alright.
That's okay. I like to end every episode with a quote from my guest. So Reese, what is your quote?
So I have I'm gonna paraphrase because I don't remember it perfectly well. But Abraham Lincoln said, in the midst of the Civil War, "The compass points to true north, but I would be a foolish wanderer to ignore the path in front of me to get there.
That's a really good one. How would you interpret that quote and tell it to someone in their life right now?
It's good to have the final destination in mind of what you want, but we can't ignore the day-to-day activities that will help us get to that goal.
That was really great. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.